Hey, hey, shalom, shalom. So glad you guys are here. I know many of you like Qoheleth night more than any of the other nights. I really like working in the wisdom literature as well. So hopefully we'll have a good time today. I want to wish you all a special blessing. May you have amazing memories. May you have retain what we learn with our biblical Hebrew studies, and may you enjoy the process. And also, may you be able to pass it on to others with insight and wisdom at the right time. Okay, so here we are. We are in Qoheleth. That's Ecclesiastes, chapter 4. Oh, where's my laser pointer? There we go. And verse 4, we're starting on, okay? So let me just scan it, and then we'll translate. V'ra'iti ani et kol amal ve'et kol kishron hamaaseh. כי היא קנאת איש, מeirei'eihu, גם זה hevel, urut, ruach. All right, let's pick it apart now. V'ra'iti. So this is the verb ra'ah, resh, aleph, hey, which is to see. And all these verbs that end in a hey like this, so-called lamed hey verbs, they will have a form like this. So you get that extra yod jammed in there. Don't think that it's the hifil. It's nothing like that. It's just the form that these verbs take, right? So, for example, pane is to turn, and if I want to say I turned, becomes pani to. See, follows the same pattern. The first root letter, second root letter, then we have the yod, then the t, right? Same thing if it's you. Raita is you saw. Panita, again, we're dropping the yod at the end, would be you saw, all right? So, Raiti, saw I, and then we have a vav here, just a normal vav, it's not a vav conversive, it's not saying I will see. So, veraiti, and I saw. Ani, I myself, right? So, or indeed, I saw. Et, aleph tav, kol, amal. Ayin mem lamed, if you're just listening. So, kol, kaf lamed means all of amal, all of the labor. It can mean other things too, right? All of the toil. The eight, and we don't translate the DDO, kol kishron hamaaseh. Okay? Kol, all of, this is a construct chain, all of kishron. Kishron. So kishron, it's interesting. It's it's the root is kosher, right? Kosher. So kishron is like skill or success, profit or advantage. And it comes from kaf, shin, resh, kashar, which in the call means it is proper or he is pleased with, right? So you can kind of see how kosher comes from this, like it's a proper food, right? Or it's a proper business transaction. You might hear an American Jew say, is this kosher? They're not saying, can I eat it? They're saying, is the way that we're approaching this in business, is it correct? Is it the right way to do it? Okay. Now it's interesting, this verb in the hifil form, hachshel, can actually mean to use something properly. But kishron, which is derived from it, means a skill or success or profit, advantage. So let's go with success here and see how that works. So kol, all or every, each of kishron, success of ham, the ma'aseh, the handywork, or that which is done. So let's go back to the beginning. V'ra'iti, and I saw, ani, I. So there's some kind of emphasis happening here, right? It's emphatic. So let's go ahead and mark that with, if you remember, magenta is the color that we use for marking emphasis. Although I also might use a pinkish color for feminine endings and such, but when it's circled like this in magenta, that means it's emphatic. Because this says, Ra'iti, saw I, ani, I. So there has to be some kind of emphasis, like I myself saw, or indeed I saw. I noticed, probably is good here. Like Hebrew saw can be just like English saw, like Do you see? Someone might say, meaning, do you get it? Like, why can't you see what's happening here? They're not talking about your eyesight in the matter, right? The person is talking about your obtuseness to a situation or naivete. So, v'ra'iti, saw I, et kol amal, all loyal, all labor. I was distracted by someone else in the room. All labor or all toil, ve'et, and kol kishron, and every advantage or profit of hamaaseh, the work, right? The product, that which has been done. Ki he, that it, literally she, kanat ish, is a kina. Kina, kof or kuf, however you learned it, the one that looks like a P. If you're just listening, noon, aleph, hey, kina. Kina is jealousness, like jealousy or zeal, right? Like we have this phrase, kinat Hashem, it's zeal of the Lord, right? That like something that prompts somebody to not just sit there and take it when someone is abusing our God, right? That's kinat Hashem. Kinat Hashem is how Pinchas drove the spear into the Israeli prince and the Moabites who were violating the mitzvah in the tent. So kina, zeal or jealousness of, that's the construct form, kina becomes kinat, right? So whenever you have a word ending in a with a hey and that hey becomes a tav, that's of, kina, the kina of ish, of man. Meirei'eihu. Well, that's min, right? Min. The min became may. The noon could not go inside of the resh. So instead it came down and we have the tseri under the mem. So here we have min. I've written it here. Mem, noon, min. And then it tries to contract to meirei'eihu, from fellow of him or from neighbor of him. And that noon will try to go inside of the resh. Right? So we have the noon, Sofit, it goes inside of the resh, but resh cannot accept a dagesh. There are a few letters that cannot be doubled. You can't put the doubling dagesh, a strong dagesh, or even a weak dagesh inside of them. They are hey, chet, aleph, ayin, and resh. Okay. So since the dot cannot go in there, it gets rejected, and it comes down, and that's what that second dot is over here. You see this guy? The second dot. So we have the first dot from min. He's still there. But then the noon, he became a dot. He went inside the resh. He got kicked out. He took this whole trip and came down around like we have here. Okay? And that's why we have that second orange dot. So the I becomes an A. So may from re'ei, fellow of who? Of him. From his fellow. Okay? All right, let's go through it again. V'ra'iti ani. Then, indeed, I noticed et kol amal, that all labor, ve'et, and kol kishron, and all skill or achievement or like profit, hamaaseh, of that which is done. Ki, kaf yod, that he, hey yod aleph, it is kanat ish meirei'eihu. It is the jealousy of man from his fellow. Gam zeh, also this, hevel, is a breath, a vapor, often translated vanity. Urut, ruach, and a striving of wind. Ruach. There are actually two ru'uts. Resh, ayin, shurik, tav. Ru'ut, one is like a female companion, a female neighbor, or a girlfriend, right? And ru'ut two, which is what this one is, this is well, in Jewish Aramaic, we have ra'utho, which is a pleasure or a desire, right? So hence a striving, right? Like a longing for something, a yearning for something. It comes from the verb ra'ah, resh, ra'ayin hey. Don't think about evil, it's not like that, which is like to feed or to graze off of the land. So that makes a little bit of sense, right? It can be to drive them out to pasture. You can kind of see where we get shepherd from it, right? A shepherd is one who ra'az, right? To protect as a shepherd, i.e. to shepherd someone. To pasture, right? To make the animal pasture. Now about this verse, Rabbi Dr. Mordecai Fox comments, all labor, amal, and skillful enterprise come from men's envy of each other. Toil is driven by envy, which according to Mishlei, that's Proverbs 14 verse 30, is a, quote, rot to the bones, unquote. And then regarding hevel, another futility or another absurdity. And I want to share with you also what the Hebrew scholar Dr. Chun Leong Seo says. He translates, I saw that every toil and every achievement, literally, I saw every toil, that's the Ra'iti ani et kol amal, and every achievement, et kol kishron, of work, hamaaseh. The objects of what is observed, et kol amal, et kol kishron. Yeah, he's translating the vav as a we. A lot of scholars do that. Anticipated the assessment introduced by Ki. Boom. As in, and then he gives several verses in different places of the Bible. The singular demonstrative he refers collectively to the things observed, namely toil and accomplishment. For the meaning of kishron, he directs us to another note elsewhere, where he shares that the word kishron occurs in the Bible only in Qoheleth. In 4:4, the noun is associated with toil and probably means achievement. In 5 verse 10, it refers to something that one achieves, that one can enjoy. Thus, achievement or success is a suitable meaning. The verb kashar occurs twice in the book, both times having to do with achievement or success. Akkadian, kasharu, to achieve, and kushiru, success or profit. Arabic, kathara, to surpass, become abundant, and kuther or kither, abundance, used of money, property, etc. And the Ugaritic divine name, Kether, skillful one or abundant one. There's a Lord by that name in the Baal epic. And the epithet, Ketheret, quote, the Katharatu. When we get to Kinat Ish, come from one's envy of another, meirei'eihu. The phrase Kinat Ish, meirei'eihu, literally envy of a person from another, refers to human competitiveness. This is again Se'o. The noun kina means rivalry in Isaiah 11:13, a meaning attested also in the Talmud in Bava Batra 21, side A. The precise relation of this envy with the preceding toil and achievement is, however, ambiguous. Grammatically, one cannot ascertain if kinat ish is the cause or the result of human strivings. One could reasonably say that toil and success cause envy, so that, quote, envy, unquote, is the result, right? Like once you're successful, you're envied. Yet it is clear in the wisdom tradition that kina is always the cause of self-destructive behavior. And then he references Proverbs 6:34, Proverbs 14:30, 27:4, and Eov chapter 5, verse 2. The relation between human striving and envy is clarified to some extent by Proverbs 14, verse 30, which also manifests the same syntactical ambiguity. Hayeh besarim lev marpeh urekav atzamot kinah. A sound physique comes from a serene mind, but rottenness of body comes from envy. All right, so that's good for this first lesson. Next lesson coming up. If you're with us during the premieres, get ready. Coming up in just 1 minute, maybe with a 2-minute countdown to make sure everybody finds us. All right, I will see you here. Shalom, shalom.